Hey, what's up, YouTube? This King Monye, man. Checking in late night, still on the grind. You know why? Because you can't sleep on your dreams, right? And I'm just thinking about my day. So somebody tells me that we can't play the victim. We can't play the victim. You know, what happened in the past is the past. I'm not going to be a victim to anything. You know, and they're speaking in regards to slavery, speaking in regards to the oppression that happened to black people. And then you hear people even talking about how it's a mentality and you can change your mentality and you stuck in that lifestyle you live in. So many of these people work hand in hand with the oppressor by preaching and teaching their doctrine, ignoring history is a sure way that it will be repeated. Ignoring history, you know, sitting there practicing the same teachings that was taught to indoctrinate them slaves is still being practiced today. People don't want to look at the hard truth. People don't want to look at the facts. And they'll make it seem like they just don't want to be staying in the past. I don't want to be negative. Yeah, it's some fucked up shit. It's some hard shit to look at. But we got to do it. We got to remember the past. We got to remember. And it's not staying stuck in the past. It's so that we can understand the present. See, a lot of us can't fully appreciate the present right now because we don't even appreciate and understand the past. We don't understand how it all correlates to today. How the effects of the actions of the past trickle down and having a direct effect and impact on your economical status today. Economical, what do I mean? I mean your money, your wealth. You don't own shit. Chances are you don't own shit. You don't own the home you living in, the car you living in, you don't own. And I'm not saying because you ain't working hard. I'm not saying because you ain't smart. And I know some of y'all gonna think because God's gonna bless me when I know. No. The reality is when you rise up and can face the situation that you are in and look at eye in eye, face to face, and say, this is what happened, this is what caused it, and then be a man and stand up and face that obstacle, face that opposition, call it for what it is, speak the truth. So many of us don't want to speak the truth because the truth is ugly. We want to pretend we speak the truth on everything else, except for when it comes to placing the guilt and the blame where it belongs. We so quick to want to, black people, we so quick to want to excuse the oppressor for the things that he's done and the damage he's wreaked on the black community. Why? Because it will cause us to lose some of our ties and connections. Why? Because the message ain't soft and it can't be digested that simple. Truth is the truth, whatever way you look at it. Some of you don't want to lose your funding. Don't want to lose your resources because you're all about the bag, and I understand it. But man, you know what? One thing I know is that when you have the opportunity to sit by yourself with no cell phones and reflect on your life and study history day in and day night, when you have a chance to really reflect, I'm talking about time. Right now, time is going so fast. Most of you don't have enough time to even watch the next 30 seconds of this video. But for those of you who do, you're going to understand this concept that there is so much going on in this world, in society, that most of the time we haven't had the time that the average prisoner has had to really reflect on his personal experiences, and reflect and study that history. and be in tune with God on a spiritual level and get divine inspiration and be empowered to know exactly what he has to do and to be empowered to know what obstacles he has to face. I'm aware that this is not going to be a simple task. I'm aware that I will lose family, I will lose friends because of the message that I have to tell, that I have to teach. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that I may be alone and cast back into prison and set up by the authorities. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that I may be killed down in the streets wearing an orange shirt that say end gun violence, and I'm aware of that. I'm aware that you don't like my message because it clearly, truth stands clear from the falsehood, right? I'm aware that some will try to befriend me because they see I'm headed towards success and they want to be a part of my success. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that there is some that is intimidated by the way that I speak. And you think that I think I'm better than you. I'm aware of that. And I'm aware that there will be few who will grasp the concept and the urgency of what I'm saying. I am saying this. Listen to those who have had the time to be fully inspired by God, right? Those who doesn't have to worry about their everyday hustle and bustle of the cell phone ringing, of your notification coming through on the phone, of the doorbell ringing, of the kids running around, spilling stuff, breaking stuff, of having to wash the dishes or wash the car, put gas in the car, pick the kids up, go to the grocery store, attend this party, attend this meeting, put on this face, put on that face. You're being involved in everything, and for good reasons, because you want to stay busy, because you don't want to sit still to deal with your reality. You don't want to sit still to digest what I'm saying. This ain't the blame game in the sense that I want us to have a pity party. No, I want those who are speaking out the loudest, to really check themselves and check what they spitting and where'd they get that shit from. Where'd you get it from? Because it's poison. And it's the direct cause of your situation. And furthermore, it's the direct cause of the condition of the black community. That's right. You're the reason. No matter how much, and may God forbid, I ever be the reason or I ever become an obstacle to cause someone to sin or cause someone to be gone astray or led into error. May God forgive me if that ever be the case, and may I turn to him in repentance. But until that day comes, inshallah, I'll continue to say the things I have to say. I'm sitting here right now and I'm just reflecting on my life and my circumstances and saying how blessed I am, because most people, I would say this, I have been to the bottom of the bottom and I've had to climb my way out. I had to fight through depression. I had to fight through isolation. I had to fight through boredom. I had to fight through physical violence. I had to fight through temptations. I had to fight through being slandered. I had to fight through being ridiculed and accused of all type of silliness. I had to fight to climb out of a lifestyle and a mentality and a place called prison. I had to fight. I had to climb. Most of you ain't never dealt with nothing. Most of you complaining about shit that ain't even shit. You're complaining because you're just used to complaining. Most of you have never seen your blood drip down from your face. Most of you have never dealt with pain. And the moment you do, you're going to buckle. You're going to cry. You're going to give up. All you used to doing is looking and riding a coattail. You have never had to stand up in the midst of the fire. I got a lot to say. I'm sitting here with all my writings. And I have got to start spitting this message. And I am spitting this message. And I'm motivated at nighttime. It's something about nighttime. It's something about the successful ones, the successful habits that I've identified from those who have ever been great. They understood the importance of grinding at nighttime when the rest of the world was asleep, when the rest of the world was rejuvenated, or when the rest of the world was just slacking off. I think it bothers me, when people in position of authority detract from the message or the push. We may all have different opinions in all different places. And I think it even bothers me more when people can't seem to understand and fully grasp my opinion, my complaint, when I say things simply as I call something racism. If I say, oh, that's racism, there's a way to be positive, and there's a way to speak the truth. Sometimes being truthful will sound negative, and that's okay. In life, there's positive and negative. And the car can't operate on just positive energy. The car has to be connected to the positive and the negative so that car can operate. And so in life, there's a balance. And I've learned to try to live within that balance. I've tried to live within that balance. I try to get to know who's my audience. What type of things my audience likes, what type of things my audience wants to hear. And I come to realize that most of my audience has, in some type of way, some type of connection to the incarcerated, whether they've been incarcerated, their family has been incarcerated, or they work with inside those prisons. So they have something to do with the prison systems. And the prison system is something that exists and that is very powerful. And it's something that a lot of people benefit off of, whether you are a nurse that works at the prison or you're a prison guard that works at the prison, whether you're a cook that works at the prison, or whether you are a teacher that works at the prison. Everybody eats off of working off of these prisons. Places where prisons are, that community all eats. That prison generates income for that community, right? And so whenever someone tries to say things like end mass incarceration, what does that mean? To end mass incarceration means to take money out of somebody's pocket, to take food off of somebody's table. It means to put some of those security guards, those COs out of work. It means to take away some of those jobs from some of those nurses that work in those prisons. It means to take away some of those jobs from the cooks that cook in those kitchens. And it means to take away some of those jobs from those teachers that teach those students. And so all of those people I named have a real big interest in wanting to keep prisons open. Not because they believe in prisons, but because they eat off of the prisons. That's where they work. It's a complex situation that the average man don't care to think about, don't have time to think about, and frankly, it's not their fight. Like I say, they're going in life. The average attention span is only quick enough to swipe up or swipe down. Do you want to hear the shit or not? Doop, 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 doop. Do you want to press a heart? Do you want to press a like? Or just get on, it's just everything's moving so fast for those out here. But there are some real righteous, preserved, solid, focused man, individual that are laboring day and night to bring awareness to certain issues. And I want to be a part of that group. I was released out of prison May 17th. Today is July 14th. In a few days, it'll be nearly 60 days. I can't think of any reason why I will be returning back to prison unless it's a complete setup, and that happens. That can happen. And even though I want to be positive, I have to keep the truth in mind, keep light of what is really going on. When you see me on this camera, brothers and sisters, I want you to know that I have one foot in bondage still, as this ankle monitor constantly reminds me. So whenever, if ever, they want to say your charger went off, it was not charged up, we didn't know where you was at, we gotta violate you. It's a technicality. Whenever they deem something inappropriate, we gotta violate you. So if ever you see me no longer on this channel, just know that that's what I'm facing. And I'm prepared for that. I'm aware of the obstacles and the challenges being there. And that's just a part of this process. These things are not just likely to happen. These things are highly, highly likely to happen. Why? Because this is what they do. How do I know? Because I respect what has been done in the past. Not just to me, but to everybody who's ever walked this path. History is important. And we have to study the history. We have to know the history. And we have to respect the history. Value it. Don't just take it like I was that what happened in them times. History repeats itself. And that's more than just a saying. I don't want to hear all this shit about speaking shit into existence. And you bringing that up on yourself. All that hocus pocus shit, we got to leave it alone. We got to leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Anything we can't explain, we, black people, anything black people can't explain, they want to say, they want to either blame it on the devil or blame it on God. That's black people for you. It's people in general. You don't understand something, either it was the devil did it or God did it. It's bullshit, man. Superstition. That's superstition. Ain't gonna get you nowhere. I believe in actions. I believe in actions, I wrote a lot. I did journal when I was in prison, right? And this is something I probably should share with y'all. Let me just say, shit like this, man. So the danger of anger, right? You know, anger is very dangerous. So this is about to be the end of this video. It looks like I'm running out of time. I'm gonna go ahead and post this and see what this I'm talking about. King Manye. If you stayed this long, man, your life